We will look at subtracting integers. When we subtract integers, we are just going to add the opposite. Another way to look at integers is the subtraction can be the sign of that second number. So for example, if we have 8 minus 2, well, we all know that is going to be 6. But let's turn this into an addition problem. We are going to keep, change, or kind of split the 8 and that negative 2 up and add. Anytime I look at numbers, I have a positive 8 and a negative 2, and I'm going to add those. And when we add them, we use the rules for adding. So we will subtract. 8 minus 2 is 6. Keep the sign of the bigger number. Now that one was pretty simple, and we did not have to change it. Now we have a 6 minus negative 9. A minus negative is actually a positive, because if you think about this algebraically, we have a 6, and then we have a negative 1 times negative 9. You can always think of this as negative 1 times negative 9. And we're going to add the numbers. Or anytime we see a double negative, we can keep, change, and it turns positive. And that will be a positive 15. So the double negative, just turn that. A lot of times students just go plus and be done with it. I do that a lot too. It's just a lot easier in our calculations. So negative 8 minus negative 3. And I always hate subtracting negatives, so I always turn them into addition problems because it's a lot easier to figure. So negative 8 minus negative 3, we keep, change, or that double negative turns into a positive. Negative 8 plus 3, they're different signs. Find the difference, so that would be 5. And then 8 is bigger than 3, so we keep the sign of the 8, which is negative. Negative 10 minus 5, if we keep, change, or if we look at this as a negative 10 plus a negative 5, or the term adding like terms. So negative 10 plus negative 5, or keep, change, where we keep the first value as negative 10, we change the subtraction into addition, and we change positive 5 into negative 5. So there's multiple ways to think of subtraction. Just pick the best explanation you understand and stick with it. So this will be a negative 15. The same signs, you add them, keep the sign. Negative 4 minus negative 9. Again, keep, change, keep, change, or that double negative, you just do positive, or plus. And then 9 minus 4 is 5. Keep the sign of the bigger number. And then 8, we did 8 minus 2 already. Okay, so let's say negative 5 minus 7. Again, we keep, change, or you think of this minus 7 as a negative 7, and you're going to add like terms. And I use this a lot when we actually get into the polynomials and adding like terms and whatnot. So I always turn my subtractions into additions. It's a lot easier on the mind to figure. So turning negative or minus, again, adding the opposite. That I did not explain adding the opposite. So we, instead of subtracting 2, we're going to add negative 2. Instead of subtracting a negative 9, we're going to add a positive 9. Instead of subtracting a negative 3, we're going to add a positive 3. So we're just going to add whatever the opposite of that number is. Typically, I tend to look at the whole value here with the sign included, and that to me is a negative 5. So essentially, I will say, hey, that's negative 10 plus negative 5, or rewrite it out as an addition problem and then use my addition rules. This concludes subtracting integers.